Bonsoir à tous, merci d'être là avec nous pour la dégustation de la Rhum Box du mois de juin. Ce soir encore, nous avons des invités de marque. Et, en l'occurrence, nous allons commencer tout de suite avec Javier Vicuña, qui est avec nous ce soir en direct de Madrid pour nous présenter le Diplomatico Distillery Collection numéro 3. Good night, Javier.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to, in the name of our company, the name of the Diplomatico company, we would like to thank you for hosting us today.
Thank you.
And yeah, I think we are gonna cover all the topics that we would like to talk about today. And yeah, it's a super honor to be with all of you and to share our passion and to share all the rums that we used to do and all what is everything behind the brand. And yeah, just to always it's a super nice time to enjoy a beauty rum. So yeah, it's what we are do today. So yeah, first of all, then I would like to introduce myself. My name, as you said before, it's Javier Vicuña, and I'm the brand ambassador for Diplomatico Rum and Canai Magin for the European market, Middle East and Africa, but mostly everything concentrated in Europe, I would say.
It's already quite big.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but which is super nice because you know, we are myself at least, I'm discovering a lot what the company is doing in all the markets, and it's absolutely impressive the way that all the people you find a lot of Diplo lovers in all over the world, so which is super nice and good news for us. And yeah, as I said before, I'm working with this beauty family, and previously I just joined in the company as a brand ambassador for Europe 4-5 months ago, but I was in charge of this last 6 years, so I know the company, I know the people who is behind the brand. So yeah, I think it's not it's the time to talk about the rum, not to talk about myself, which is very and most interesting and than my life, let's say. So
well, let's do it.
As you know, it's super important to understand who is Diplomatico and where are we coming from. When you know Diplomatico, it's a Venezuelan rum. We joined in 1959 with Seagrams, and as you know, Seagrams historically was a super company, very focused in terms of innovation. You know, and it's for that you probably and all the who are gonna listen us. Diplomatico, we used to do our rums in a very unique style rums in terms of flavor, in terms of profiles, in terms of topics, and a lot of different details that make the difference for us. So it's important to understand and to know from the beginning what is where are we coming from. So Seagrams, as I told you before, it's super in innovation. So it's for that. You know that for our traditional range, Mantuano, Planas, and Reserva Exclusiva, we use different types of distillation. We use Barbet column, which it was designed for a French guy too many years ago. We have a batch kettle, which is a semi-complex type of distillation, and the pot still that which we are going to talk today in a deep way. Okay, so I think if you like, I prepared you a few slides just to be and to put all of us in context.
Very nice.
I will share the screen. I think you have to let me share the screen, please. It's just because it's very visual, and I think all the people are gonna understand in a super interesting way the method that we use to order to make our rums. You know, the master distiller and their team, they have been in behind this work 36. So we are super experienced in this term, and obviously we have the knowledge about how to make rum and exactly, and you know, and how to do it. I think we check it. Yes, perfect. Okay, cool. Just give me a second. And it's gonna be
there we go.
Cool. It's okay. So almost in.
Looks like a great team.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing I would like to show you, it's I did it first, but I don't know why. It's this full presentation. But okay, important first to mention that we used to use two different raw materials. We use molasses and we use honey. I'm going to be very quick in this part because the real protagonist today is pot still, but it's interesting to understand from the beginnings the way that we used to rums. We use molasses that we ferment in for 24 hours, and we use honeys, okay, that we used to ferment it for 84 hours that you can see there. Okay. Our pot still, we use as a raw material only honey, only the part of the honey. We just ferment it in the separate, and we only use honeys for this pot still. Another super interesting way to understand is the way that we do the rum. As I said before, first of all, we make a fresh distillation, okay? Okay. We make a fresh distillation with molasses and one with honeys. For the pot still number 3, the distillery collection number 3, as you can see, we use the heavy wine from honey, okay? So with this after the we have like a, you know, a special juice with a little bit of alcohol that we need to concentrate it, okay? Yeah. Then after the distillation, we pass all this wash, let's say, coming from the honey, and we distill in a column, okay, in order to just to keep the heart of the distillate, which is super important for us. Then, as you can see there, the final ABV it's around 45. Okay, ABV. Yeah. With this ABV, we used a pot still, but this pot still it's quite different from the others pot still, which is not better or worse. It's just different. It's we always used to say the same in Diplomatico. In Diplomatico, our rums is that we used to do it in terms of the distillation methods that we have, all the flavors that we want to keep in every single bottle, and it's not the worst, it's not the best, it's our style. And we can very proud say that it's our style and it's unique style. Yeah. Okay.
So is it a double retort? Retort pot still? Yeah.
Exactly. It's super interesting. You can see here in this picture, because as you can see here, this is a not common double retort pot still. As you can see, the swan neck connects to the first retort to the middle part. It's not to the top one. What is this? Yes. Yeah, with this kind of distillate, we get until 80 new make, more or less. That then we used to put out water just in order to get 55 ABV more or less. But which is super important, the shape, you know, of the swan neck. With this swan, the important thing is that, as you can see, we feed the pot, the first pot, we heat it, and then all the beds are coming and connect directly in the below of the first retort. And then is the second sequence for the next retort. Yeah. What we can expect for this kind of distillation, we really get all the heart of the rum, and we really get all the flavors, you know, of the the master and their team want.
It's a full-bodied rum.
Exactly. It's super full-bodied rum. but it's for that. Here you can find, for example, this shape of the video. You are making richest, your spirit, and in terms of efficiency, let's say, it's quite interesting as well. So it's for that. With this pot still, now we can. I invite you just to have it together.
Yeah.
So
here it is.
Then, just to finish and start with the tasting, just to finish the, let's say, the explanation of how pot still number 3 distillery collection is made. The important thing here is then we have the final spirit, let's say, before aging. We rest it. We sent to the warehouse just in order to age the product. 8 years in different barrels. We used to use a New American oak barrel. We use single. This barrel was filled with whiskey, Scotch whiskey, and then we use another third different barrel, which is ex-bourbon, coming from North America. With this, it's important here to mention that the temperature in Venezuela is super high, and the difference between the day and the night it's around 10 degrees more or less. So the aging is going to be constantly all the years. The typical comparison. The people used to do that. 1 year in Venezuela or Caribe, it's equivalent like 3 years in Scotland. This is because the
in terms of evaporation.
Exactly. In pot still, as a quick resume, it's a blend. It's first of all, it's as a raw material. We use honey as a raw material. Then we ferment it. It's used to be like 1 part of honey, 3 parts of water, just in order to with the yeast. Obviously, yeast was discovered in the times of Seagrams, and we with this recipe, and then we just distill first in the first column. Then we distill in the different types of distillations methods, which are barbette, batch kettle, and pot still, which is the protagonist today. And then, in the case of pot still, we age this rum 8 years in a New American oak barrel, 8 years in a ex-single malt, and 8 years in a ex-bourbon barrel.
Ex-bourbon,
Then the master and their team used to make a blend, like a marriage, let's say. You can find still, and now it's time to taste. Let's make a virtual, cheers.
Cheers.
And here I always used to say the same. Every single human, all the humans, we have our personal feelings. We have the sensorial memory in our voice and in our mind. Sorry, but I always used to say the same. Let's first of all smell like all the spirits. And I would like to know your opinion about the.
I think it's definitely heavy. It's definitely way heavier than what we're used to with Diplomatico, especially with the Reserva Exclusiva or even Monturano. It's really it's very dry, and there's something. It's very toasted. You have very toasted wood, toasted nuts.
So it's important here to mention that the distillery collection, it's up 47 ABV. So this kind of thing. We have to pay attention on these things. That if you have tasted, not any aggressive. We can find any aggressive, artist and anything. I think it's super full body rum. Because we are using the best of the best. We are using honey. We are using the pot still method of distillation. So we are like playing with heavy rums. So the heavy rums, it's supposed to be here and they are here. So we are
you can definitely feel it. I think there's also a slight note of something a little rubbery, something like rubber, like the rums we find in Trinidad, for example.
Yeah,
it's not overpowering at all. It's very nice. It's like a spice, and
exactly.
You can feel the heaviness in this.
Yeah. Some people sometimes used to, especially with Distillery Collection number 3, they used to find, let's say, like a salty part, you know.
I can understand that.
In pot still, sometimes you can feel it because it's always depending on what you have milled before,
of course,
you know, and all this kind of things. But absolutely, you can find it. In this period of the session, I used to always advise the same, which is, okay, let's close the eyes, just smell, like try to concentrate. You know, when you hide one of your feelings, you are potentiating the other ones. So it's super interesting. And I used to always advise to the people to do this. We can do it if you want.
Focus on the.
You can hear, for example, in my opinion, we can find smoky notes. Super. And this smoky notes, it reminds me, at least for me, like, okay, with still I can, for example, smoke a cigar. I can, for example, make in terms of cocktail, make like a super old fashioned, which Manhattan as well, playing like with a and obviously take it neat like today. So
of course,
it's
I also find a hint of orange peel when it opens up.
Yeah, absolutely. For example, in Reserva Exclusiva, we used to use, as you know, pot still. It's the 80% of Reserva Exclusiva. It's coming from pot still.
Okay.
So this is the interesting part when the company decide to start playing, let's say, with a Distillery Collection. It was a super nice key tool for us in order to let the people understand which is the method that we used to use in our rums. And when we taste, for example, pot still, and we tell the people that Reserva Exclusiva, it's 80%, for example, of this pot still, it's super impressive for most of the people, because probably they didn't know it before. So
I believe it was much lighter distillate, the base of
for example, with Planas, it's super interesting, because Planas, we can find the 50% of the Planas.
Okay.
It's coming from pot still too.
Okay.
So when you taste Planas, you can see as a white rum. You see the bottle, okay, and it's white and it's clear, let's say. But the process that we used to is for that we in Diplomatico we always say the word profile. We are always looking for a profile rum. For example, in the traditional range, we are a blend. We have in the portfolio different rums. They are blend, but they are blend with this.
It's the core of the rum.
For example, single vintage Ambassador or Prestige range, they are like, for example, single vintage is 7% coming from pot still, coming from honey, but then to 12 years age, and then with final barrels with a share and everything. But in the traditional range, it's super important to let the people understand and let the people taste this kind of products, because it's help to the people to understand because you can taste the barbet, you can taste the rum coming from the column, you can taste the rum coming from the batch kettle, and you can taste, as we are doing today, the rum coming from pot still, and the people to recognize, the flavors. This is for, because you said I find some orange slide maybe in, you can find it in Reserva Exclusiva as well.
So you know where it comes from. It's very interesting in an educational point of view. It's very it's very nice.
Yeah,
it's very nice to do that.
It's super interesting because I think that, yeah, absolutely, we are super proud of the result that we are having. The most important for us is make the people happy, and actually I think that the people are super happy with our brand. They like it so much, and yeah, it's I don't know if we have time it's almost over, but
yes.
I don't know if you have any questions or any suggestion, anything to comment.
Well, do you age all the distillates separately and then blend, or sometimes
exactly.
you blend the distillates in the barrel?
Yeah, example, in the case of Barbet, we distill the first column as with pot still and batch kettle. Then we distill the second, the heart, in the Barbet column, and we send these different distillates to different barrels, the 3 different types of barrels I told you before, which are the New American Oak, the ex-single malt coming from whiskey,
ex-bourbon
whiskey, and ex-bourbon coming from the American whiskey. So we let the rest all the rums into the barrel, and then we have, it's for that we have in our distillery more than 300,000 barrels. So it's for that the master blender has a super nice chance to blend the rums, and it's for that we are not the best, we are not the worst, but our stylist is unique, and we are very proud of to tell all the people that we are super passionate in the way that we used to share our rums with all the people, and the way that the master blenders and their team they do it.
Yeah, well, very nice. Thank you very much to you and all the people, and David.
For me, as I said before, thank you very much for hosting us, and yeah, let's keep in touch, and please have a super nice. Let's cheers again.
Salud.
Salud.